let's not bury the lead. We need to talk about something pretty important. Hot Toys has announced, I'm not sure if Josh has even seen this, but he's seen my hair, so he knows, he has a general idea of what it looks like, because this hair is pretty much what it's going to look like out of the box for you. So the Hot Toys Anakin Skywalker rooted hair, supposedly a premium line of Star Wars legends, as they describe it. So really excited to hear everyone's thoughts on this. Kiko, I'll start with you before I get to Josh, because I'm really interested to hear what you're going to say with beautiful. I mean, as an expert in beautiful hair, because you're literally showing your LINK and your beautiful hair on screen, true, you can pretty much speak to the fact of whether Hot Toys can pull this off officially, because we saw this photo, and I'll pull up the other photo that Sideshow showed. That one wasn't as good in person, but the promo photo looks pretty good. Kiko, fill us in on your thoughts, bro, on this Anakin.
So I guess the new thing they're calling this is Hot Toys Backstage. Is that what it's called, essentially? Is that their new branding for this, quote, premiere line? I'm not 100% sure. I just know that all those little photos have Backstage in the top corner. Is that like the Blitzway black label or anything like that? But either way,
I think you're onto something. Yeah,
I probably am onto something. But here is what everyone melted down about, because they're like, oh man, we're getting our new Anakin. I told you we were holding out for hope. I know I told you the 2.0 was going. So glad I didn't get on the secondary market. Yeah, this is great in theory. But you know what? This was taken by a professional photo, and this is what is out of the box. Now, Will, I feel like I am the resident skeptic when it comes to rooted hair, mainly because, obviously, but rooted hair is something that's very challenging, because unless you have real hair attached to your real body, even then, it's very hard to style and get right. We're all wearing this for a reason, and obviously it's all to poke fun at this very topic, all right? But this is the issue when it comes to these, is that the highest quality premium figure of all time, the Dark Knight Joker from InArt, my God, have you seen the rooted 2-pack? Yes, I own them, and I've never been more disappointed. Now, if that is the standard by which we are all holding all your 6-scale premium format stuff to, I'm very suspect, because now we don't know what those behind the door numbers are of how many Jokers were ordered. And everyone's like, well, if you have, that many, they're going to have some QC issues. I'm sorry, Kiko, that you didn't have the greatest experience. They're supposed to be the premium top of the line. Now, if the premium top of the line can't deliver, what makes you think the mass-produced factory is going to be able to deliver? Now, Sideshow is notorious for putting out very shoddy display pieces, whether it be hardly posed, very odd. Going back to this photo, this is professionally lit, professionally styled, professionally photographed. This is not what is coming out of the box. Now, prove me wrong, okay? Because I was trying to give the Wonder Woman 100, the benefit of the doubt, saying, it looks pretty good in those promo photos. But what did we say when it eventually came out and they put it on display? Whoa, what the fuck is that? Because it was not exciting. It was very windblown, if you want to call it that. And then so fast forward to Hot Toys putting theirs on at Sideshow, and you get that whatever that is. Now everyone's like, I'm not denying the sculpt is incredible. I think it's a huge, huge upgrade. But I will be extremely disappointed if there is not a sculpted hair version. So you have to ask the question, does premium format mean that it has to be rooted? You can't do rooted hair for every figure, okay? That just doesn't make sense. Maybe if they have longer hair, like in some of the female characters, things like that, maybe, but we've been down this road before. I'm really, if they're talking about the premium legends of the Star Wars, which ones are you going to do that have long enough hair? Chewbacca, that's one big piece of hair. Are you going to do Anakin? Obviously, they did that one. You have some Leia options, which have had some very suspect sculpts. You got some Padme options, but what legends are you going to be able to put on there that has dynamic hair that would make it premium? But if they do a black label premium thing, there's got to be some sculpted options, right? Because I don't think premium means hair. It just doesn't to me. I feel like you can have a high-end collectible without it having rooted wooled hair or something like that. And I know I talked a lot, but I'm very hesitant that they can pull this off.
Yeah, I have a lot of skepticism about this too, Kiko. But Josh, I want to jump to you, bro, before I jump in on this one. As a retailer and a collector, someone who's lived in both worlds, what do you think, about this Hot Toys quote-unquote premium line here with this rooted hair? I mean, what are your overall thoughts on it?
So, and before we get started, I try to be as unbiased as possible. If people have seen me on other shows, I'm a retailer, but it doesn't help me to push a product that's going to get canceled when it arrives. So, so I'm always honest. It doesn't help. I think it's sick. I'm sorry, but I also thought the InArt Joker was sick. And you know how I am. Like, I was upset that the InArt wasn't actually licensed. I felt there were some, you know, shortcuts taken to try to push it out, and everyone lost their shit. But I personally think it's sick, but I think just rooted hair doesn't do it for me. Cause like I also collect statues. Like for me, and it's all up to opinion, right? So like I fucking love multimedia statues. There are some people that hate any statue with clothing on it, and that's fine. But look, if it's just rooted hair, I do actually like, even in this photo, because I've been through the setup, they don't set them up super professionally because there's so much going on in such a short amount of time. These aren't necessarily fans setting up these figures. These are employees setting up the figure with a instruction like this needs to look like this, right? And the problem is when you mess with it, there's a risk of damaging it. If you damage the prototype while trying to set it up, you're fucked. You're fucked. So there isn't a lot of messing. I can see why they didn't mess a lot with the hair. Like you're not going to oil this. You're not going to style this if you're an employee with a sample that needs to go back to the factory. I wouldn't touch that shit. I mean, I wouldn't even pose it personally. But like, I think it's sick. But like, there has to be more if there's going to be a price tag. If it's same price, perfect. I think it's great. But it's not going to be.
I'm also super suspect of, go back to that last photo. Like if they're going to put that same shitty ass cape out, that's the same cape. I'm really believing that it's literally a new head sculpt on the old body. I really think that.
I wonder if it's real leather, Kiko, instead of pleather.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that terrible, look at that hood. That hood's terrible.
That hood looks pretty consistent to the other ones. Yeah. But I'm wondering if since it's premium, they say real leather and rooted hair. Like that's their version of InArt, basically.
Well, we don't even know if that's going to be the only version, right? So like here's how I see it. They're announcing a new line. And you mentioned Black Label, which I thought was interesting with Blitzway, because remember, Black Label is its own company. It's not a fun line they announced. Prime One first had Black Label or was working with Black Label. And the stuff they tried to push was way too expensive for what it is. Like just like I thought the half scale Black Label Dante was fantastic. What was it? Death Stranding was Black Label. Fantastic pieces, but nobody wants to spend. I think Dante was 4K, right?
Damn. 4K?
It's Dante, and there's multiple games. You can't have one version of Dante. The Devil May Cry 5 was not the end all be all. Like, you cannot expect collectors to jump in on that. So I actually think it was really smart of Blitzway to take the Black Label and go into quarter scale, because now you're looking at budget J&D style.
Right.
But I mean, in 6 scale figures, you're talking about posable figures. You can't start putting like super fragile silicone sculpts all over the body. You're going to have damage. So, but at the same time, you know, sales are down right now. The pendulum swung, the market's crashed. It really did. And now vendors or manufacturers have to come up with a really amazing way to come back on top. So if you're not going to be selling a bunch of figures day one, you need to come out with quality at high cost. So this might be their answer to it. I'm hoping there's more to it. That being said, I still think it looks, even in this photo, I think it looks incredible. I really do.
Well, Josh, what do you think about, do you think this will be exclusive? Do you think it'll be limited set number? Do you think it's a wide release?
They're going to want to push as many as possible.
Okay.
And as much as Sideshow is an exclusive retailer, they still benefit from working with their other vendors because it's less risk distributing the numbers, basically. They're going to get whatever numbers they want, but it's less risky to bring in other vendors. They may not offer it to every vendor, but like the ones that pull numbers consistently, you have to remember the more that are made, the cheaper it is to manufacture in bulk production, right? So if they do make it a deluxe, they absolutely can, but they're probably going to lose money the first release if they do that. Usually when a vendor, like perfect example, 3 Zeros Griffith Deluxe, right? Did you hear about that?
No, what happened with that?
So they released 200 of Griffith from Berserk as a figure, a 6-scale figure in a deluxe version, and then there's an unlimited regular. They only made 200 deluxe, and it's slightly more expensive. They're not profiting off that deluxe. You're making 200 of them. So they could have made as many as they wanted, and they chose not to profit crazy on it. Now, that might be a collector thing. You know, that might just be like, you know what, we want to give these to collectors. It's going to cost too much to make the base. This would be friggin' awesome to just make 200 for people. But we all know that figure's also going to be worth $100 minimum plus, well, probably 500 plus on the market where they could have capitalized. So it really depends on the morals. Knowing the morals of Hot Toys and Sideshow, as much as I love both of them, they're going to go for the money.
Okay. But Josh, but I think, yeah, you definitely recognize the fact that dead stock is definitely not a good thing, right? So are they going to try to find a happy medium somewhere in between where they're not overproducing like crazy, but also maybe not super exclusive? Is that
I'll tell you where we're at right now. Cause I mean, there were clips. I'm going to toot my own horn and be cocky here. I called all this shit in July last year. If anyone remembers like watching those streams, and everyone's like, fuck you. You're just trying to push inventory. No, I'm not. Cause everything's waitlisted. Because it doesn't help me to get dead stock. So right now we are back to the days of production is based on whatever's ordered in the first 2 weeks. And that is fact. You'll see that on every website. And if you're not seeing it on every website, it's because either they're pretending they're going to get like waitlist stock or they're going to buy it from somewhere else. But like, I am not getting extras after 2 to 3 weeks on release. Like, and you've seen it. If you've looked through the Hot Toys, for example, they're gone. I am not getting extra pieces to have dead stock for people who miss the boat. Let them miss the boat. Let them pay an extra $200. It's not worth it. I think it's going to be, I would say this will be a 3 to 4 week pre-order window, and then it's done.
Wow. Okay.
Done.
But can they actually do this and make it look great? Because this is even a better picture than
I
the one
like it.
You know,
Bro,
that
I like it. It just needs a little styling.
Do you
needs
have
styling.
that picture of the photo that someone sent where it looks like it's all crazy looking? Because
I don't know if I could find
but
that.
like you look at and this is a prototype. Remember that. So the boxing's not always as good. Like when you look at custom 6-scale heads that people buy, they're like specially cradled and packaged, right? And you still have to style them. In a mass production, that's not hard to replicate. In a prototype, to be frank, because I've received prototypes, most companies don't actually protect it all that well. They kind of don't give a shit. I've had prototypes come in that were snapped in half. It's just like in a head sculpt rolling around. That's the weird thing. They don't give a shit, but that's also like their sample. But it's typically rushed out and they need to get it in, and they're gonna have plenty, so they don't care. Like showing this off at San Diego Comic-Con or Sideshow or wherever it's being shown off is not going to change the number ordered. It's just not.
Because I'm wondering, because Kiko and I, Josh, our concern, I think, would be the amount of style. Like, because I'm with you guys. I think the head sculpt looks incredible. But when I'm talking about the hair to me looks a little suspect. But I think it needs some styling. I think it's
going to need styling. It's like,
but that should not be my job to have to. Everyone's like, well, if you're going to be
collecting,
I understand that. No. It is not fun for me if I put something on a shelf that looks like dog shit. Because
you're wearing a human wig.
Yeah, for fun, but
it's beautiful hair though.
It is embarrassing to me when I say, hey, check out my in-art Joker, and it's like, oh sweet, what's going on with his hair? I don't know, I paid $1,200 for it. It's the best I got.
After the truck scene when he was like shooting the rocket.
Well, I don't know. Kiko's has an afro. It's pretty
mine looks like Anakin's wig right now, and I'm like, that is not cool. Because yes, I could take scissors to it, I could put product in it, whatever, but that is not something I'm comfortable with doing. I'm not comfortable with doing that, and I shounn't have to.
But that's what I was saying though. So like knowing Hot Toy, fucking shit. knowing Hot Toys and just knowing, a retailer in general, they're going to save money. And again, this is me from the complete business aspect thinking of it.
Yeah.
The Luffy is life size, by the way. I saw that question in the chat. It's fucking life size, and I just got it, and it's the best piece ever.
Nice.
It will be cheaper for them to properly protect that head sculpt. But at the same time, I think the other side of it is they're going to attach it to the body like their normal Hot Toys.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people fucking around with trying to peg it in, because they will break it. And believe it or not, the customer service at Sideshow is so good. And I'm Comic Concepts, and I'm telling you, Sideshow also has great customer service. They're going to replace or do whatever they have to do with anything damaged, even if you fucked it up. There's no way for them to prove that. So they will save more money by properly packaging this and actually styling it before shipping out. And if it is fucked up, it's likely been through hell in shipping, but they will actually save money having it out of the box perfectly fine. And that's what I would be thinking as a manufacturer.
I'm wondering too, Josh, if Hot Toys is willing or capable to do that, because maybe this is a different type of rooted hair, but every other rooted hair they've done, I feel like out of the box, it just looks not great.
Yeah, whether it be Black Widow, whether it be Wanda, whether it be
even
any
Gamora.
other,
But
even Gamora, you got that nasty tape on it, and you have to pull it out and it goes through that little. Maybe they'll figure out some new innovative ways to properly put it in. Who knows? Maybe it's like
I think they will, because we haven't been in a market like this before where vendors and manufacturers have to figure out new ways to get people back into collecting. I mean, and again, I might be totally wrong. But if I am a seller, and if I were a manufacturer, I would totally find a way to make sure this looks good, because you now have another competitor in art. Even though they're not licensed, they know what they're doing and they're able to get it out all over the world. You turn a blind eye to whoever's selling it. So they now have a titan to actually worry about. It's true, but it's still a threat. And it would be in their best interest to get their shit together and start caring again, because that's the reality of the situation. They didn't have to care before.
I love what you just said a minute ago.
Box and get it out.
I love what you said a minute ago when you said that they're trying to get collectors back. Someone in the chat said, Ruben says, why don't Kiko just collect statues? No, because I want an articulated figure. That's the whole point. I want a figure, but I should not have to worry about how that figure looks outside of the box. I think that is a general understanding. If you want a collector to embrace and buy your product, they should have the confidence knowing that when it comes out, minimal things, sure,
or minimal futzing,
lift up the collar, pull the sleeve down, that's fine. But I should not have to take a fucking wet paintbrush to my Joker's hair to get it to look like the way it's supposed to. That's ridiculous.
This could not even be a pagan head sculpt. This could be a magnetic head sculpt with rotating neck, and that would be the smart way to do it too, because you don't have to mess with it. You can cradle it nicely in a spot in the box. And I know the Hot Toys boxes, there's room to do that. There is a pocket somewhere for a head sculpt that you can totally do that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come in properly, because there would be so many returns on people damaging their own figures trying to mess with the hair. And they're not dumb. There's no way they're not thinking of that.
Right. And this is a proto, and it might even be rushed out there. So, but you also made a good point, Josh, with the packaging. So if this is Hot Toys premium label, you may even see a more premium packaging than even the DX figures. You may even see something that's like super secure and something where they do. But I'm just praying to God that they style this hair thoroughly before, short of Kiko, most people's in-art Jokers were styled effectively when they got in hand. So you had to do minimal to no futzing with hair. Kiko just got unlucky and his is fucked. But basically the rest of us, mine looks great, and I've had to do almost no futzing to the hair whatsoever. I'm hoping this Anakin Hot Toys can figure that out and do that. Put product in it, do whatever you got to do to make it look right. And then, like you said, Josh, package it well so then people don't try to comb the hair or cut it and then return it, And
it depends what they price. If they're charged $500, you better damn well bet they're going to package it differently.
Right. I think they might charge $450 for this. Yeah, I think.
But is it just rooted hair? Is it leather? Is it?
I think it might be leather, but they haven't said. So if it's not leather and it's just rooted hair, then maybe not $450. Maybe it's $400.
Sculpt silicone? Because it looks incredible.
So. Yeah, because I think I remember, I don't know who was talking about it. Maybe someone like J&D or someone put out, they said in this scale, silicone would be really tough to maintain. It would be. But
this looks fine. I don't think it's even going to be that much. I could see $350, so? And that also depends on the accessories that comes with it.
Yeah, it's true. But you think, Josh, you think pre-order windows are going to be a thing for this type of label for Hot Toys? Like a month or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever?
When it would come out?
Yeah, no, I mean how long the pre-order window?
Announced windows or just them
2 to 4 weeks. I'm just telling you where we're at right now. Every figure you see release, That's it. It's 2 to 4 weeks. I am almost sold out of every figure I have put out in the past year before it's even released. Again, I'll repeat it for all you collectors. I don't want your fucking dead stock. I don't want you canceling. I don't want to get hit with another $100,000 of dead stock for no reason. And that's anybody. There's no point. And there is not a lot of money to make in Hot Toys, believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, everyone's value of a dollar depends, but from a business standpoint, they're easy to sell. They're easy to get damaged. They're easy to have replacements, but they're catastrophic in mass cancellation.
Yeah.
Catastrophic. So it's not worth the risk. So as a retailer, and as any retailer is doing, you even see it on Sideshow, there is absolutely no reason to mass order. We close orders and that's it. They order, there's a wait list. If we have any cancellations, there's someone waiting in line. Boom. It's free money.
Is that what Sideshow is going to keep doing, you think, or start?
Everybody. And
everyone.
I genuinely think that's what collecting should be to begin with.
Okay.
Where is the
excess of a
announcement?
limited collectible.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I was going to say, where is the announcement then, just to say, hey, this will be a 30-day pre-order window? What is so hard about that? Why is that so hard? But why is that such a challenge?
Because what if it's not? I mean, there's liability. You don't want liability attached to you if you don't have to.
Right.
You
So
either
you're
have
saying,
a
what if they
limited
change their
collectible-
mind, basically?
Yeah, you either have a limited collectible and people go nuts and you'll keep it open as long as there's demand. And then when it's done, oh, it was limited. So we warned you. And then it creates hype for the next order, right?
So I get, so it's like kind of like wanting your cake a little bit, but it does also give them flexibility. It does, like they make it as limited as it needs to be, essentially.
Correct.
Yeah. Right.
Like once the orders trickle off, that's it. And there's always going to be people who come in late. So it's perfect.
Right. That's interesting though that they would do that. Yeah, because I know Sideshow can't be thrilled. They just gave away Captain Marvel, literally. Like you would buy a $260 figure and they literally gave you Captain Marvel for free. That's how bad it is.
Well, those windows have always actually been in place. They've just not been enforced. Does that make sense? So like during COVID, and I don't know everyone's behind the scenes deals. I just know what I've witnessed. You could order this shit forever. People just were burning money every day with stimulus checks.
Right.
Like it was just like, I can afford it, so why the hell not? I had a tingle. I saw it and I tingled a little. There you go. Purchase $500.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wild.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. Thank you so much for your thoughts on this Anakin Skywalker rooted hair. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, we got a poll running, so let us know. But yeah, I'm interested to hear, and I'm gonna take this wig off because
Pioneer.
This thing, Josh already beat his Kiko. That's Kiko's real hair. So when he took his wig off, it was just that hair actually. So
oh no,
that's a high quality wig there, Kiko.
Oh, that's what you look like.
Yeah. Dude, Kiko, you got to put the logo in the front, dude, on the hat. There we go. Yeah,
just
Kevin.
To answer Conquer, Comic Concepts won't carry in art, unfortunately, until it's licensed for North America.
Right.
We've talked to InArt and Queen Studios about their product, and it's just, oh well.
Right. Well, because I mean, your hands are kind of tied. I doubt Sideshow.
Yeah, I can't force it. I've asked. Actually, I think Sideshow will probably eventually distribute it. And,
that's what I think too.
Or us. I mean, again, there have been talks, but I can't guarantee anything, and nothing's finite. So it's whatever. And Comic Concepts. For a lot of you who don't know me, it was supposed to be a hobby. So like, I have other things. Like I do full-time anesthesia. So like, I don't know if I want that responsibility to distribute. So, like, I don't know if I want to take that risk. So
that would be pretty
I'd
cool.
love to sell it, but
yeah, that would be pretty cool.